In the spotlight tonight is Steve Hoar from Salford, a civil servant, and his subject is the Adrian Mole novels. Dan O'Hara from Saltburn by the Sea, a retired welfare officer, and his subject, the history of sound recording. Carole Chittleborough from Cwmbran, a road safety engineering technician, and her subject is Molière. And Stuart Cross from Carlisle, a museum and art gallery assistant, and his subject, European female painters. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. Tonight I shall be cross-examining 4 sharp brains in the infamous black chair. The rules are simple. They will be quizzed first on their chosen subject and then on general knowledge. They won't be able to see the clock, but they will certainly know that it is counting down from 2 minutes. The winner will go through to the next round and take a step closer to becoming the nation's mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Steve Hoar.
Your occupation?
Civil servant.
And your chosen subject?
The Adrian Mole books by Townsend.
The Adrian Mole books in 2 minutes starting now. In the secret diary of Adrian Mole, what operation does Adrian finally have after being on the waiting list since he was 5?
His tonsils.
Yes. With what name does Adrian sign his letter to the agony Aunt Clara in Growing Pains?
Pass.
In the weapons of mass destruction, what reason does Ruth Rendell give for turning down an invitation to the Leicestershire and Rutland Creative Writing Group?
She's on holiday.
Where? I'll have to tell you, Australia. According to Adrian, which writer, whom he used to think was a woman, has a daughter called Oberon?
Evelyn Waugh.
Yes, on May the 28th, 1991, Adrian has just finished writing Chapter 12 of Lo, the Flat Hills of My Homeland. What is the chapter's heading?
Pass.
When Adrian first joins the library, he takes out Care of the Skin, Origin of the Species, and which novel that he complains is old-fashioned. He thinks the author should write something more modern.
Jane Eyre.
No, Pride and Prejudice. In the Cappuccino years, one of the candidates for Ashby de la Zouch has the letters SLAG on her T-shirt. What does Adrian's mother say the letters stand for?
Pass.
In the Wilderness years, Adrian gets a job washing up in which restaurant where Bianca works?
Savages.
Yes, Adrian refers to which of his father's girlfriends as stick insect?
Doreen Slater.
Correct. In Growing Pains, Adrian sends his poem on Mrs. Thatcher to which magazine?
Private Eye.
The New Statesman. On the 17th of June 2003, Adrian's son rings from Nigeria to say that he wants to change his name from William to what?
Pass.
Pandora has to resign from the Ministry of Ag and Fish after describing which shellfish as looking like diseased genitals during a conversation with Peter Mandelson.
Whelks.
Yes, what 14th birthday present does Adrian receive from his Aunt Susan, the prison warden, although it's actually been made by one of the prisoners?
Ceramic toothbrush.
Toothbrush holder. What name does Adrian give to the title character in his essay A Day in the Life of an Air Stewardess, which wins second prize in the British Airways Creative Writing Competition?
Pass.
In the Wilderness years, his father's latest girlfriend, Belinda Bellingham, gets Adrian a job selling what?
Insurance.
Security devices. You had 5 passes altogether. Jonquil Storm was the name that Adrian gave to that title character in his essay. Adrian's son wanted to change his name to Wally. SLAG, S-L-A-G, stands for Socialist Lesbians Against Globalization, according to Adrian's mother. The heading chapter was The Dog It Had to Die, and the name Adrian signed his letter to Aunt Clara was Poet of the Midlands. 5 passes, Steve Hoar, 5 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Dan O'Hara.
Your occupation?
Retired welfare officer.
And your chosen subject?
The history of recorded sound from 1887 to 1925.
Recorded sound in 2 minutes, starting now. What name did Tainter and Bell give to the cylinder machine that they developed in their Volta laboratory in the 1880s and which was a development on Edison's original phonograph?
The graphophone.
Yes. Which German city was the birthplace of the early pioneer Emil Berliner?
Hanover.
Correct. What term was commonly used to describe the up and down vertical cutting of the sound groove in early recordings?
Hill and Dale.
Yes. Berliner gave what's thought to be the first public demonstration of disc recording and reproduction before the members of which institute in 1888?
The American Academy of Science.
Franklin Institute. Who joined the Columbia Company in 1906 as consulting physicist and collaborated on the production of an unbreakable disc known as the Velvet Tone?
Sterling.
Marconi. What name did the Victor Company give to its new model of record player, which was introduced in 1906 and was the first to remove the external horn and house it within the cabinet?
The orthophonic Victrola.
Yes. Which popular recording artist of the 1890s made the Michael Casey series of comedies?
Russell Hunting.
Correct. In which American city did Fred Gaisberg open a commercial recording studio in 1897?
Philadelphia.
Correct. What was the name of the mechanic from Camden, New Jersey, who supplied Berliner's company with cheap and workable spring motors for its gramophones?
Oh, I know. Pass.
Which Italian operatic aria recorded by the tenor Enrico Caruso in 1902 became the first recording to sell 1 million copies worldwide?
On with the Motley.
Correct. What was the main ingredient of the material which the Duranoid company began using instead of vulcanized rubber for pressing discs in 1897?
Shellac.
Yes. Which British novelist became so interested in recorded music that he decided to publish a journal for fellow enthusiasts entitled The Gramophone in 1923?
Compton Mackenzie.
Correct. Whose painting of his fox terrier Nipper was later to be immortalized worldwide as the trademark of his master's voice?
Francis Barraud.
Correct. What was the surname of the brothers Charles and Émile who established a recording studio in Paris?
Pathé.
Yes. Which composer published a magazine article in 1906 entitled The Menace of Mechanical Music? I'll finish the question, in which he criticized so-called canned music.
Sullivan?
No, Sousa, John Philip Sousa.
Yes.
You had just one pass. The name of that mechanic was Johnson, Eldridge R.
Yes,
Johnson.
of course.
One pass, Dan O'Hara, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Carole Chittleborough,
Your occupation?
Road Safety Engineering Technician,
And your chosen subject?
the works of Moliere.
Molière in 2 minutes, starting now. In Molière's Le Misanthrope, what is the name of Céliméne's cousin whose hand in marriage is ultimately accepted by Philinte?
Eliant,
Yes, in Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme, Monsieur Jourdain is astonished to discover that he's been speaking what for over 40 years without knowing it?
prose,
Yes, in Le Médecin Malgré Lui, Luca and Valère tell Martine that Lucine's ailment has deprived her of the use of what?
her voice,
Her tongue, yes. After Amphitryon attempts to prove his own identity and threatens violence on his alter ego, which character urges him not to let the villain die by any other hand than his?
Sosie,
Argati Fontidas. In Lavère, whom does Harpagon ask to decide whether his daughter Elise should marry Seigneur Anselme?
Valère,
Yes. Don Juan is set on which island?
Sicily,
Yes. In Le Malade Imaginaire, Cléon claims to be a friend of whom when he calls incognito to speak to Angélique?
the music teacher,
Yes. What's the name of Orgon's mother, who's the last member of the family to accept that Tartuffe is not the devout man he claims to be?
Madame Pernelle,
Correct. Monsieur Jourdain tells his wife the Turks have bestowed him with what title during the ceremony of Mahatmata pour Gidono?
Mama Mouchi,
Correct. When the lovers are all paired off at the end of Lavare, Harpagon is happily reunited with what?
his casket of money,
Yes. In Le Misanthrope, what is the title of the sonnet that Oronte has written on which he wants Alceste's opinion?
pass,
Don Juan and his valet Zinarel are almost die in what way but are saved by Pierrot the peasant?
pass,
Thomas Diafourroy offers to take Argent's maid Toinette to see him perform what procedure?
the dissection of a female corpse,
Yes. What is the name of Amphitron's valet whose likeness was taken on by Mercury?
Sosie,
Correct. When he's talking to Géronte about Lucine's symptoms, Zignarel says that what is the Greek word for the brain?
pass,
What is the name of the officer from Normandy who delivers the writ to Orgon on behalf of Tartuffe, evicting the family from their home?
Monsieur Loyal,
Monsieur Loyal is correct. You had 3 passes. Nasmu was the Greek word allegedly for the brain. They were drowning. He saved them from drowning. That's what he did. And Hope was the title of that sonnet. 3 passes. Carole Chittleborough, you have 12 points. And our last contender, please. And your name is?
Stuart Cross.
Your occupation?
I'm a museum and gallery assistant.
And your chosen subject?
European female painters before 1900.
European female painters in 2 minutes, starting now. Mary Mosé and which Swiss-born historical painter were the two women among the founder members of the British Royal Academy?
Angelica Kauffman.
Correct. Elizabeth Thompson, later Lady Butler, depicted a scene from which war in her 1874 painting Calling the Roll before an engagement?
Crimean.
Yes. Which French artist left her wealthy husband to live with a young lover, André Uter, who was a friend of her son, Maurice Utrillo?
Suzanne Valadon.
Correct. The Venetian artist Rosalba Carriera was one of the first people to explore the possibilities of which type of colouring material in serious portraiture?
Pastels.
Yes. Which French painter, engraver and poet was the daughter of a miniaturist and was elected unanimously to the Académie Royale in 1672?
Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun.
Sophie Charon. In the 16th century, which Italian city was the home of many female painters, including Lavinia Fontana?
Bologna.
Yes, The Jolly Toper and which other work by Judith Leyster that can now be seen in the Louvre was wrongly attributed to Frans Hals until the 1890s?
The Flutist.
The Happy Couple. Which French artist painted over 20 portraits of Marie Antoinette and was forced to flee the country during the Revolution?
Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun.
Correct. In 1559, Sofonisba Anguissola was appointed as a court painter and lady-in-waiting in which country?
Spain.
Correct. A self-portrait of which 17th century artist and a companion piece of her husband are both in the National Portrait Gallery?
Leicester.
Mary Bill. From 1870 onwards, the Dutch artist Henriette Ronne-Knip specialised in pictures of which animal?
Horses.
Cats. The American-born artist Mary Cassatt was inspired to take up printmaking by an exhibition of arts from which country that was held in Paris in 1890?
Japan.
Correct. Which French artist acquired a police permit in order to wear trousers in public and was particularly celebrated for her paintings of animals such as ploughing in the Nivernais and the horse fair?
Rosa Bonheur.
Correct. Mary Moser was one of the first significant British artists to specialise in painting which subject?
Flower pieces.
Correct. What was the name of the artist whose works included Jeune Femme en Toilette du Bal and who exhibited all but one of the group shows of the Impressionist movement?
Berthe Morrison.
Correct. Which scene from the Start Itself finish of the Apocrypha is the subject of paintings by Elisabetta Sirani and also Artemisia Gentileschi, who presented hers to Cosimo de' Medici?
Judith and Holofernes.
Judith and Holofernes is correct. No passes. Stuart Cross, you have 12 points. So that's the specialist subjects done and dusted. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 5 points is Steve Hoar. Third place with 11 points, Dan O'Hara. In joint first place, very close here, 12 points each to Carole Chittleborough and Stuart Cross. Which means we move on to the general knowledge round, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account. So it is often better to take an educated guess than to pass. Could make all the difference. So let's get on with it and ask Steve Hoar to join us again, if he would, please. And you are the same age as Adrian Mole, I gather, more or less.
Yeah, but I don't look it.
It's an extraordinarily popular set of books, isn't it?
Well, for myself, I've grown up with him because of being the same age, and when I was a teenager, I had the same problems as Adrian with worries about girlfriends and sports, yes.
And did you follow him, how can I put this politically? Because although they're very funny books, Sue Townsend is a very serious writer in one sense because she's making political points all the way through, isn't she?
She is. I mean, Adrian's very politically naive. It's only until after the fact that he realises that some of his political beliefs may be wrong. But Sue Townsend, very cutting with all governments.
But she's funny. I mean, that's the point. That's the point of the books.
Yeah, the books are laugh out loud funny. A lot of people probably just look at them and think, oh, the children's books or the teenagers' books, and they're not the very adult books.
Absolutely. Right. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which animals can be seen in the British countryside each spring standing on their hind legs boxing as part of a courtship ritual?
Hares.
Yes. Which historian and broadcaster presented the television series What the Romans Did for Us, spawning spin-off series involving the Victorians, Tudors and Ancients, among the others?
Alan Hart Davis.
Yes, in rugby union, who played his first game for England since the 2003 World Cup in the Calcutta Cup match against Scotland in February 2007?
Johnny Wilkinson.
Yes, the name of which drink comes from the Russian for little water?
Vodka.
Yes. Which fellow poet did Elizabeth Barrett marry in 1846, the ceremony taking place without her father's knowledge?
Byron.
Browning. On which item did a profile drawing of Queen Victoria based on a design by William Wyon first appear on the 6th of May 1840?
A stamp.
Yes. Who reportedly said about Mick Jagger's 2001 solo album, Goddess in the Doorway, he's not very good without me, is he?
Keith Richards.
Yes. Which American state has Providence as its capital?
Rhode Island.
Yes. Which gas with the chemical formula HCHO is used in a solution of water for preserving biological specimens?
Chlorine.
Formaldehyde. Which 2006 film is a remake of a popular 80s television series and stars Colin Farrell as Crockett and Jamie Foxx as Tubbs?
Miami Vice.
Correct. Which desk toy consisting of metal balls suspended from a frame is named after a 17th century scientist and supposedly demonstrates the conservation of momentum and energy?
Cat's Cradle.
Newton's Cradle. Who composed the music for West Side Story?
Bernstein.
Yes. What common name is given to the whitish froth found on leaves and plant stems exuded by the larvae of frog hopper beetles?
Frog Spit.
Cuckoo Spit. Which area of northeast Kent was formerly an island cut off from the mainland by the Wonsum Channel?
Isle of Dogs.
Thanet. Which Welsh soprano released the album Living a Dream in 2005?
Alan Williams.
Catherine Jenkins. The technology for what type of flat screen, commonly used in high-definition television sets, was invented around 1964 at the University of Illinois by Donald Bitzer and Gene Slaughter?
Pass.
Well, I'll tell you, plasma screen. That was your only pass, and you've gone up a lot. 14 points. And now, Dan O'Hara, please. Sound recording. The first one was what, 1877?
Well, 1877, the tinfoil phonograph, yes.
Right.
And then Edison rather put it on one side to develop electric light. And then when he sensed competition coming up on the rails from Bell and Tainter and from Emil Berliner, he got back into the race, and the three of them were under starters' orders, one could say.
Well, now, where does an expert like you stand in the great digital controversy? Because there are an awful lot of people who say digital sound just doesn't have it.
Well,
you're better playing an old LP.
Well, let's put it this way. I like CDs that have been produced from the old recordings, reprocessed with the most modern technology. So I'm not against modern technology.
But you don't walk around with one of those things stuck in your ear.
I don't have one of those things.
You don't have one of those things, right. Very relieved to hear that. You have 11 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. In the New Testament, what name is shared by one of the sisters of Lazarus and a woman of Magdala?
Mary.
Yes, known for his roles in Hammer horror films, which actor appeared as Saruman in the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Pass.
Fragaria vesca is the botanical name for the tiny wild or woodland variety of which soft red fruit?
Currant.
Strawberry. What was the voting age lowered to in the Representation of the People Act of 1969?
18.
Yes, in Act 3, Scene 1 of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, what does Mercutio wish on both the houses of Capulet and Montague?
A plague.
Yes, which New World monkeys take their name from their loud roaring cries that can be heard at distances of over 1 kilometre?
Howler monkeys.
Correct. One of 6 sisters who, as co-editor of the volume of essays Noblesse Oblige, popularised the terms you and non-you for types of speech and behaviour.
Oh dear. Pass.
What was the name of the main family in the Darling Buds of May?
Larkin.
Yes, for which more serious disease did the Gloucestershire surgeon Edward Jenner discover a vaccination when he inoculated 8-year-old James Phipps with cowpox in 1796?
Smallpox.
Yes, founded in the early 15th century, what is Scotland's oldest university?
St Andrews.
Yes, which war broke out as a result of the Habsburg monarch Charles II dying childless on the 1st of November 1700?
The War of the Spanish Succession.
Yes, by what name was the ballerina Margaret Hookham better known?
Margot Fontaine.
Yes, which symbol widely used in the address of a web page is more correctly known as a solidus or virgule?
Don't know.
The Roman name for which English city means waters of Soul, Soul being a local Celtic deity?
Chester.
Bath. In 1997, for which food items was the sizing system 0 to 7 replaced by small, meaning 53 grams or under, to very large, meaning 73 grams or over?
Pass.
Which composer who lived from 1685, I'll finish the question, to 1750, had 20 children with his wives Maria Barbara and Anna Magdalena?
J.S. Bach.
It was J.S. Bach. You had 4 passes. Eggs are sized small and very large and all that. Solidus or virgule, forward slash. Nancy Mitford was the co-editor, noblesse oblige, of course, and Christopher Lee played Saruman. 4 passes, Dan O'Hara, a total of 21 points.
Thank you.
And now, Carole Chittleborough, please. Molière. Oh, there's a playwright. He was funny. He wrote humorous plays, but political as well. There was a lot of satire there.
Yes, a lot of his satire was aimed at certain follies, particularly people who had obsessions.
Yes, he didn't like doctors, did he?
Oh no, he really had his knife into doctors. You'd almost say he was obsessive himself
Yes,
on
quite.
the subject of
Why?
doctors. Moliere's idea was, well, nature itself can cure whatever is wrong. When I think people asked him why he didn't go to doctors about his own illness, he would say that he had just enough strength to cope with his illness, not with the stuff that the doctors would give him to cure it.
Anyway, you're very knowledgeable about Molière. You have 12 points. 21 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do it, so far anyway, with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Toulouse-Lautrec produced posters of the cabaret performers La Goulie and Jane Avril at which Parisian nightclub?
Moulin Rouge.
Yes, who plays Beatrix Potter in the 2006 film Miss Potter?
Renée Zellweger.
Yes, what's the nationality of the runner Ilana Meyer, who in 1992 won her country's first Olympic athletics medal since they last competed in 1960?
Bulgarian.
South African. Which dukedom was held by Richard Plantagenet, who was the opponent of Henry VI at the start of the Wars of the Roses?
York.
Yes, in Doctor Who, which musical instrument's particularly associated with Patrick Troughton's portrayal of the Doctor?
Pass.
What disease, often associated with biological warfare, takes its name from the Greek for coal because of the hard black-centred lesions that characterise it?
Pass.
Which musical about hippies opened in London on 27th of September 1968, one day after the abolition of theatre censorship, and included a scene where members of the cast were naked?
A hare.
Yes, Ruth Rendell's detective Reg Wexford is based in which fictional town inspired by Midhurst in West Sussex?
Pass.
Who in 1987 is reported to have said, "I did not have 3,000 pairs of shoes, I had 1,060.
Imelda Marcos.
Yes, the eustachian tube connects the pharynx with which part of the human body?
Pass.
Which businessman, best known as the manager of the Beatles, died from a drug overdose on 27th of August 1967?
Brian Epstein.
Yes, what Persian name meaning sign of God is given, especially in Iran, to high-ranking clerics among Shiite Muslims?
Imam.
Ayatollah. Which spice consisting of small dried fruits with 8 points is one of the ingredients of Chinese 5-spice powder?
Starfruit.
Star anise. Which celebrated piece of incidental music by Mendelssohn was written to be played between Acts 4 and 5 of Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream?
Nocturne.
Wedding March. The trout is a member of which family of fish?
Pass.
In which Kent town is the colonnaded street known as the Pantiles?
Brighton.
Tunbridge Wells. In which of Dickens' novels do the Punch and Judy men, Codlin and Short, appear?
Pass.
By what nickname was Lyndon B. Johnson's wife Claudia generally known?
Ladybird.
Ladybird is correct. You had 6 passes. That Dickens novel was The Old Curiosity Shop. The trout is a member of the salmon family. The eustachian tube connects up to the middle ear. King's Markham is where Ruth Rendell's detective lives. Anthrax is that disease. And in Doctor Who, it's the recorder that Patrick Troughton was keen on. So 6 passes, Carole Chittleborough, 19 points. And finally, Stuart Cross, please. European female painters who had a sort of hard time of it, really, didn't they, until the turn of the century?
I think the story of European female painters is generally one of struggle because society didn't encourage them to be painters. They weren't allowed on the whole to attend life classes, for instance, and study anatomy. Really, the only one whose reputation has survived intact is probably Gentileschi, who is a truly great artist.
But still, if you ask somebody out there to name a female artist, they could name you a dozen great men, but they probably couldn't come up with a single woman, could they?
Indeed, that's right, because it was a very difficult struggle for them. And I mean, society tended to patronize them as well. I mean, there was a famous incident when Lady Butler painted the Calling the Roll, when a correspondent in the Times said, presumably meaning it to be a compliment, she shows none of the weaknesses of a woman. Which is not a remark they would get away with now, I fear. But
Right.
at the time, that was regarded as a compliment.
Right, you have 12 points. The score to beat is 21. Well, let's see if you can do it with your general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. What name was given to the period of international tension between the Soviet Union and the West, which lasted from about 1946 till 1989?
Cold War.
Yes, for which novel did Margaret Mitchell receive a Pulitzer Prize in 1937?
Gone with the Wind.
Yes, which deadly snake, often found by water, takes its name from that of a huge serpent killed by Apollo in Greek mythology?
Mamba.
Python. Who played the author Peter Mayle in the television series A Year in Provence?
John Thor.
Yes, which planet was believed to be the centre of the solar system in the geocentric planetary system that was generally accepted until the 16th century?
Earth.
Yes, the 16th Earl of Warwick, also known as the Kingmaker, was killed at which battle in 1471?
Pass.
Which sporting trophy was originally donated by the Royal Yacht Squadron in 1851 for a race round the Isle of Wight?
The Admiral's Cup.
America's Cup. The name of what type of bread literally means cake or pie in modern Greek?
Pass.
Which woodcarver is often said to have carved a distinguishing peapod on his work, such as those in St Paul's Cathedral?
Grinling Gibbons.
Yes. Catalan is the official language of which European principality?
Catalonia.
Andorra. Who is the author of the fourth of the Gospels in the New Testament?
John.
Yes. Which concept did Aristotle define in his Poetics as the purging of the emotions through the feelings of pity and terror evoked by witnessing a tragedy?
Pass.
Which celebrated American rock guitarist had his first hit, Hey Joe, in 1967 after being invited to move to Britain by Chas Chandler, the former bassist with the Animals?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yes. To which legal post in the British government was Lord Goldsmith appointed in June 2001?
Attorney General.
Correct. Who won the 1998 Man Booker Prize for his novel Amsterdam?
Ian McEwan.
Yes. What name of Old Norse and German origin is given to a river valley, especially in the north of England?
Dale.
Yes. The cyclamen is a member of which plant family?
The Lily.
Primrose. Which major Chinese seaport is situated between the mouth of the river Yangtze to the north and Hangshu Bay to the south?
Shanghai.
Yes. Who starred as Jack Colton alongside Kathleen Turner in the film Romancing the Stone and its sequel, The Jewel of the Nile?
Pass.
I can tell you, Michael Douglas. Your other passes, catharsis is
of course.
the concept, the Aristotelian concept. Pitta bread literally means cake or pie. The Earl of Warwick was killed at the Battle of Barnet. 4 passes to a cross, in total 23 points. So at the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 14 points, Steve Hoar. In 3rd place with 19 points, Carole Chittleborough. In 2nd place with 21 points, Dan O'Hara. In 1st place with 23 points, Stuart Cross. Which means, of course, that he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Alexandra was out with gay friends when the gang first spotted him. Angelica believes they targeted him simply because he looked gay.
A stark reminder, Stephen Fry Out There continues tomorrow at 9 on BBC Two.